There they go again. One step up, two steps back as the Phillies lose their first game in the City Connect uniforms. Disconnect between the Phillies and runs scored. They got two, but they needed more. Ruben Amaro Jr. on Michael Barkan. We welcome you to Phillies Postgame Live, presented by Cure Auto Insurance. Ruben, when you look at this, whether it's pitching and Christopher Sanchez, the starter, who committed 2 errors tonight, or the lack of hitting, especially in clutch situations, what's going on?
As a beautiful game of we had last night,
yeah,
this was almost as ugly. I mean, they just didn't play great baseball. They did not play good defense. They sort of shot themselves in the foot. They got pretty good pitching. I mean, Sanchez threw the ball pretty well, but he sort of didn't help himself all that much with his defense. Very strange plays. We had cross-ups. We had all types of things happening. But the bottom line is they did not swing the bats very well against Bailey Falter. Falter sort of got revenge on the Phillies today, throwing the fastballs by him, mixing it up a little bit with a couple of breaking balls, and he sort of made the Phillies look kind of feeble. They did not swing the bats all that well, and Pirates figured out ways to get some runs somehow, enough runs to win the ballgame.
Former Philly Bailey Falter on the mound for Pittsburgh. 5 innings pitched, 4 hits and 1 run. Not too bad against his former team. Let's go across the street, check in. He said he was going to be crabby. Crabby John Kruk. I don't blame him.
Be crabby.
I'm feeling pretty crabby myself right now. John, when you look at this game, what do you have to say about the struggles at the plate with this team?
Yeah, well, it's kind of been the way the whole season has gone so far. I mean, the early start of this season, it's, one good game, inconsistent the next. Hopefully tomorrow they come out and have a good game. But, look, there wasn't a lot of hard hit balls, but, give the Pirates a lot of credit. Reynolds made a couple good plays. Triolo made a great play. But there's no excuse. I mean, I'm not going to make an excuse for it. They just didn't get the job done against Bailey Falter.
John, talk about the shoddy defense a little bit and why you think that's happening right now.
I have no idea. Christopher Sanchez is normally pretty sure-handed. He bobbles that ball, and then Trey slips and the cross-up thing.
Have you ever seen that play before in your life?
A shortstop slipping like that?
Falling down like that?
No. No, it looked like he rolled his ankle a little bit, but it kind of spun out on him. He took a nice divot. I'm sure the grounds crew is going to replace that with the, that little green stuff that comes in the golf cart. But
hey, do you think it had anything to do with his new shoe? I think he probably had new shoes on today, right?
I would think. I think they all did.
With the color scheme that they had?
Well, I mean, that means I'd have to look at their shoes a lot.
That's what it's about.
Doesn't it seem like
checking the cleats?
They have to match up, right?
Well, yeah, but I'm sure that as many different color shoes that these guys wear. I'm sure that they had some infield in them or took some grounders with them on or something, right? Because I don't know how. I know I couldn't go out there with like a brand new pair of shoes right out of the box and go play.
John, talk to us a little bit about home plate umpire John Tumpane. You seem to take great steps, John, in explaining the rule book to the hitters and not the pitcher. Yeah. I don't know what the heck the deal was. What'd you make of that, Johnny?
Well, the more he tried to explain it, the more head shakes you got. Like, I have no idea what the heck he's talking about. But, if you want to have a conversation, sure. No, it was if there's ever was a stickler, that was a stickler today. I've never seen it. The eye contact thing, you got to make eye contact. I'm like, my God, that just floors me. But the pitch clock and he actually warned someone. He warned one of the pitchers for the Pirates. I think he warned them about the clock. Like I never knew they had a warning. I didn't know that was part of the process. If it's a rule and the clock runs down, it shouldn't be a warning. It should be,
yeah,
that's a ball.
8 seconds remaining in the clock, right? You've got to maintain eye contact.
You have to make contact with the hitter, otherwise it's considered a quick pitch.
Right.
And sometimes it seems that they warn the pitcher, and sometimes they seem like they don't.
And they
which is
apparently
a little bit of an oddity.
You need to bring candles and some wine. Apparently.
Yeah, well, I was going to say Yinglings, but
okay.
Sure.
I did want to say a little something about. How about JT? We talk about it all the time. How tough is he? I've never seen anything like it.
I have neither. I mean, that was a pretty good fastball that took a direct shot to his wrist, and I was happy when he got up. Because Ruben, you face a guy with high velocity like Aroldis Chapman, your first instinct is you have to swing harder.
Right.
And thank goodness JT didn't have to swing in that at bat, because I'm sure they're going to look at it, take some X-rays. If JT allows him to take X-rays, we know him. He might say, "The heck with it. I don't need them, and I'll play tomorrow if you need me to play. If I'm in the lineup, I'm playing tomorrow." And but yeah, he just reminds me of Darren. The more and more I see JT and watch JT, as tough as he is, I mean, that toughness, it reminds me of Dutch.
He's unbelievable.
I hear you.
Yeah, and
it's pretty amazing.
And Dutch was, man, you know how tough he was, better than anybody,
Yep.
John. But taking it off that little nub on his wrist.
97.
I can't believe he stayed in the game.
Crazy.
And then he came up to bat. Thank goodness he didn't have to swing the bat for 4 straight pitches.
Yeah, that was the worry. I worried that, with that high velocity, if he tried to overswing to catch up to high velocity, that he could, I don't know, damage it or whatever. But, is it going to shock anyone if he's playing tomorrow?
No.
Not me. Not after taking one on the throat and kept playing the next morning.
The throat
Amazing.
that was bad.
Yeah.
He's amazing.
And he sort of had the Phillies off balance. You see the numbers: 5 innings pitched, 4 hits, 1 earned run, 3 strikeouts, no walks. He doesn't strike out a ton of guys, but he got a lot of soft contact, which is something he's been doing pretty much all year. And he's got back-to-back very good starts against 2 pretty good offensive teams.
He was 6-4 with a 3.86 ERA in 2022. That ERA jumped to over 5 last season. Went on to Pittsburgh via trade. What's Rob Thomson say about tonight's loss? Here he is postgame.
Sanchez tonight.
I thought, other than the second inning, because after he made the error, it just kind of sped him up a little bit. But I thought his stuff was really good. Changeup was back. He was throwing strikes, getting ahead of hitters. Velocity was 94, 95 at times. He really, if he makes that plays out of that inning, if Trey doesn't slip, he's out of the 3rd or 4th inning. But I thought his stuff was really good.
What has he made out of his control and command over his past 2 starts?
Well, I thought today was good. I did. The last start in Washington, he wasn't getting ahead of hitters, but I thought he was pretty good today.
So JT and Junior got crossed up, I guess.
Yeah.
And JT stayed in the game, so he's fine.
Yep. Trainers are going to check on him as always, but we don't think we need any X-rays or anything like that.
Is Castellanos maybe getting to the point where he needs a day or 2?
Yeah. I think his mental makeup is good, and he's wanting to grind through this thing, and he's working very hard to get through it. So we'll go day by day and see where he's at.
How do you balance that, though? At what point, even if he wants to play through it, is that?
It's just a feel.
Marte's a guy that you've praised for keeping it in the strike zone. What do you think happened with him tonight?
I think when he crossed JT up, I think that affected him. He felt really bad. So he's just got to bounce back and start pounding the zone again.
What do you make of Harper's at-bats tonight and over the past week? Seems like he's running into some tough
luck.
at times.
But I thought his at-bats were good tonight. He hit the ball hard 3 or 4 times tonight. I think 4. So, I think he's fine.
He's frustrated.
Yeah, he's frustrated, but Harp gets that way sometimes. He wants to perform, and he wants to do well and help his team.
The ball that Merrifield in the 7th, is that a ball he probably should have caught?
Yeah, he went after it palm up, and the ball at last second had a little topspin to it, and he didn't have time to turn it over, and he just tied him up. It's a little tougher play than it looks.
Are you concerned with the lack of hard contact Merrifield's made at this point?
Well, he hasn't had many at-bats, really, and consistent at-bats, and he's used to that. But, yeah, he's hitting a lot of balls off the end of the bat. But again, he's another guy. He's working on it. He'll get there.
That's the pitch that he has to have to be successful. You look at the numbers: 6 innings pitched, 4 hits, just 1 earned run. Now that other earned run was really his fault.
Yes,
he could not get himself to the point where he would relax after he booted that 1 ball. It was an easy play. He bobbled it. It's one of the keys to the maturity of the pitcher is to be able to just bounce back and be able to come back and say, okay, that's 1 mistake. All I got to do is come back and make a pitch and get out of the inning. But he walked 2 guys, walked a runner in, and that was crucial in this ball game because the Phillies weren't weren't swinging the bats all that well, and 1 run means a lot. And so he could not really right himself. That said, he did throw the ball much better, and he looked a lot more like himself at the end of the year last year.
Can I make a suggestion to the official scorers?
Please do.
It's not going to happen, I understand. Okay. But if you're a pitcher and you commit an error and it leads to a run, that's not an unearned run.
It should be an earned run.
Yeah, it should be an earned run. Come on, you did it. Okay. You're the pitcher.
No
you're
chance.
Not defending your business.
Not happening.
How about Junior Marte, by the way? And you heard Rob Thomson say when he crossed up JT Realmuto, that it affected him.
Yeah,
and you could see that.
There was no question about it. That really rattled him. I mean, obviously, that's something you don't ever want to do. And even you look at the last pitch that he made, I think he struck out that last hitter to end the inning, and he sort of threw his arms up in the air because he was sort of disgusted with himself and upset with himself. It's a really dangerous situation to put the catcher in, and obviously it cost the Phillies another run, which was another important run for the Phillies since they weren't swinging the bat. So it was a tough night. It was a very strange night on a night where you had brand new uniforms, and maybe that had a little something to do with it.
I'll tell you what.
Maybe that took their mojo off or something like that. It's kind of strange.
You and I were talking when we were watching, and I contend that if they don't fare well in these uniforms, after a time, they're going to wear them 12 times, including tonight this season, home Fridays, and if they don't fare well going forward, someone, whether it's Dave Dombrowski or John Middleton, is going to say, we're not wearing them
That ain't happening.
That's
Mike.
it. All
not
right.
happening.
You know, the name of the game is getting hits, right? So just trying to go up there and get the hits and try to have good at bats. Obviously, you guys know if I'm swinging that pitch out of the zone, I'm going to get out. If I don't, let the game come to me. Usually, on par with what I need to do. So just got to stay the course and just have better at bats, each day.
Feel better about today, though? I mean, even a couple outs and hit one to the wall, and guy makes a diving catch on the other one.
Yeah, no, I mean, anytime you're able to get out there and just have good at bats is huge. Obviously, in St. Louis, didn't do a very good job. When your 3-hole hitter isn't really doing his job, it's tough to win. So, just gotta, like I said, go out there and continue to strive and do the things I need to do to help this team win.
The frustration from that last one, the Reynolds catch, was it from the catch, or maybe you thought you just missed it?
No, just want to get a hit. Just want to be better, right? I think whenever you hit a ball like that or anything, you're always going to be frustrated if you get out or anything. You guys know how I am. I'm pretty emotional with what I do. But, yeah, just frustrated I got out.